Boo boo. Doo 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 doo. It is time.
Says
So
so small, let's make it big.
Alrighty. Let's see me. Okay. You see the delay of my camera. And that it's stuttering, that's because it's my phone.
My smartphone
Going via NDI.
So
it's Wi-Fi
going here from my
box over Wi-Fi
box
to the
over
router
Wi-Fi
to Nexus
the
point and
router
going
to
back.
Nexus point.
That's
Not
what
what
we
we want to talk
about
today. 30
people.
Hello.
Hello.
There, I have to look there.
Okay.
Actually,
what
what
are
we
for
today?
We're
here for
the
Kinect.
And
And
at first I want to make an outside comparison.
This is why I actually switched to the phone here, or have the phone active.
Oh. Just realizing you probably heard me double. Really sorry for this. Okay, now we're just 11 people, so my face is probably... Anyway, we want to see Kinect Xbox One, so the version 2, and we want to see the Kinect AZURE. And I have them separate here, both connected. And at first we're going to have a look into the outsides. So switch camera. And here you can already see them. And what is pretty obvious here is the size difference. So here, the top one, you see the V2, and just down here is the AZURE. Let's turn this one sharp here. Perfect. So yeah, here you see the AZURE, the V2, and it's already clear the V2 is way smaller, so it's way easier to integrate. But what you have to see is it's deeper. Not a lot, especially with all the cabling and stuff, but you can already see it's not as high. So the height difference is quite a lot here. And you have two cables. And this is one of the first things I really like about the Kinect AZURE, is that it's you don't no longer need the whole adapter dongle thing, but you have two cables here, and one is for power and one is USB-C for data, but you can actually use the Kinect AZURE just with the USB cable, and you can, under circumstances, deliver the power over USB alone, which in itself was really practical. From the outside, we'll come to something on the side here later. On the outside, you can see you have the receiver. It's this one. You have the camera lens for the color information. This one is the receiver for the time of flight data, so the lighter part of the whole situation. And basically the same happens with the Kinect, where you have somewhere here the receiver, and here you have the color information, and you have this microphone array here, which is very clearly visible. And it's, I think, 4 microphones. And with the AZURE Kinect, you will have 7 separate microphones. I don't know if it's really that interesting to use it. But let's take another look here, because as I said, the AZURE Kinect can be used with just a USB-C cable, but in the end you have the power brick. Let's have a look at the power brick here. So this is the power brick for the Kinect AZURE, and as you can already see, it is USB. So you could also just use a second PC or just a second USB port of the PC to power up the Kinect. Also, I played around and used already a fiber hybrid extension cable. Yeah. Under this one is the Xbox logo. Yeah, thanks, Owen. So we had this one running in one installation, so the Xbox logo looks kind of shitty in this situation, so we just taped it over. So I was using a fiber hybrid cable, and I was actually able to power up the Kinect AZURE over this hybrid cable. So I could just need one long cable. I think it's something like 50 meters, and it's running just fine. So this is definitely a big plus already. Also for the V2, you have all of this shit here. It's like you have the power brick, which is here, and the power brick will go into this adapter here, and this adapter will then go to the Kinect here, and from there finally you can go into the computer. Yeah, so you have all of this, and you have to hide all of this combined with this really big camera setup. So this is already not the nicest way, and this is definitely a really big plus for the Kinect AZURE here. Also, something which is really important is you can just use one of this. So yeah, it's like one camera. So the standard setup for a lot of situations by now was to use something like a Kinect, like an NUC from Intel, like a small form factor PC, and bundle it with one of the Kinects, and then just send over the tracking data, which we will come to later. Yeah, and yeah, you can put several of this, just one of this. Okay, let's have a look at the technical stuff. So let's switch over here to this website, which is directly from Microsoft, and they even have a compare to Kinect for Windows. So they have this comparison sheet here, and it's not all of the information, but it's a good idea of what is the difference. So as I already said, is the 7 microphone array versus 4. This will probably be interesting if you're developing a Kinect application using the SDK and not using TouchDesigner, because you can use the AZURE online service for speech recognition, which can be pretty powerful. So basically the Kinect is recording what is said and sending the data stream onto an AZURE server, and then sending you back the information. So I suppose you can also use this to get like a 3-axis direction from where the speech is actually coming from. The second one is the motion sensor, and I actually never realized that the Kinect version 2 actually has also an accelerometer. What a hard word. But the AZURE Kinect, because it's so small and it can be powered by just a USB-C component, and also it can be used with Linux, so you can probably create a very small form factor PC and just use the acceleration and also the rotation values to create 3D scans of a room and stuff like this. The resolution definitely also is a big part. It's just still 30 FPS. I was hoping for 60 FPS, but I suppose it would be too much to ask with the depth information. But still pretty powerful. And it's 4K. So yeah, it's just a 4K device instead of the full HD of the Kinect V2. Which is just the RGB sensor is 4K. The rest has other information, other resolutions, but we'll get to this. The method for both is time of flight. So basically, what is happening, I was showing it already in the on the sensor, is we're shooting out an array of IR infrared points, and then we're just checking when it lights up. So and based on this, we get the information about where in space it should be. And here we already have like a good indicator is the resolution of the depth map is on first view, it's like still pretty low res, but it's like 120, 130 pixels more on the x-axis, and again something like 150 pixels on the y-axis when you're running it at 30 FPS. So you get way more information here, and which is really nice. You can also, by sacrificing half of your frames per second, you can even go as high as 1024 by 1024, which is a lot compared to the other. So yeah, data is doesn't matter. It's over Type-C. Who cares? So yeah, external PSU or via USB-C, you can power up the device. I would always go for the external power supply, just for reliability reasons. But it's nice to have the possibility to not have to carry around all this crap with you, and or you can just use a power bank in the end, because it's still USB, so it's still USB powered, so you can use what you already have. So the synchronization, this is something I will probably make a stream to later when I have a second device, second AZURE Kinect on my hand. We are working on it. I'm probably will work together with MX10 about getting a second one to find more information about this whole synchronization process. But basically, I think I told this in the last stream already, you can put more than one Kinect and you can link them together to get to synchronize. And yeah, one of the problems with especially the Kinect 360, where you could use more than one at the same time, was when you use them both, the IR blasts are going to interfere. So there's like this technique where you would have one just slightly vibrating. It's a really weird mechanism, so it's very hacky, and they address this finally with the possibility to synchronize more than one Kinect to so they don't kill each other. I suppose the limit is 3, but we will have a look. We can have a look at this one. So yeah, the dimensions, what I already showed you, it's smaller and it's like half as heavy, just half as heavy. And I suppose the whole 970 gram here for the Kinect V2 does not include all of the dongle accessory like the adapter and power brick and stuff like this. So again, big plus for the AZURE here. So sensors. Yeah, one really nice thing about the Kinect AZURE is that it's basically just really expensive webcam. So you can just use it as a regular webcam, like every other camera you put in, which is not possible with the V2. So if you just have it in your office or in your studio space or something like this, you can also use it to do streaming, broadcasting, stuff like this. So pretty powerful. Yeah, the IMU sensors, I already talked about this one. It's so you have acceleration on 3 axes and you have the rotation, so you can yeah, this is also a project I want to look into, is to make like 360-degree scans of the environment. So yeah, OpenCV compatible, who cares? Yeah, AZURE Kinect DK allows programmable delay for external syncs. So basically, like, the first one is sending out the IR blast, getting the information, then the second one just puts in. Okay, so okay, this is probably something interesting. Share access with multiple clients. So seems like several several programs could access the V2, but I had a lot of problems with this one. So yeah, so we have a body. Okay, this is not so much information. One information which sucks that they did not include is the information about the field of view, basically. So they have some information here. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so like this AZURE speech service and AZURE vision service are running in the cloud, and you will need like an AZURE server running to use them actually. So this is not something we will take a lot in touch, but the body tracking is something we will definitely have a look at, compare the two. So the Kinect V2 has a depth range of I think it's 4.5 meters, so 4.5 meters, and the AZURE goes, according to this one here, goes to 6 meters, more than 6 meters. So you have like a 1 centimeter error at 4 meters distance, and so also you have this like minimum range, and this is also something very different to the version 2. So we will have a look into this in TouchDesigner itself now. Some more information from the outside. No, I think not. So let's start up TouchDesigner here. And let's have a look here. Takes quite a while. I'm just gonna put this here. Okay. How is the process of running or getting the information of the sensor? So the old way is we have this Kinect top, and we have the Kinect AZURE top, and we have the Kinect AZURE Select top. So we will first go with the version 2. So we put it in, and we already get this depth image here. So here I am. Hello everyone. And so we can mirror the image, have the camera remap, which is interesting for overlaying the depth information, which is in this 3:4 format, to the color image. And if we want to take the color image, we just have to like copy the Kinect top, and now we have to use the color top here. So already to get the information from, so we only can have one active here at the same time. So to use it somewhere else in the project, we would have to use a select top here. So it's the wrong one. Like this, draw it in, and that's totally fine. So let's keep this one open. Here, the color information. So now if we have a look here, the CPU cook time for the depth map is like 0.1, and so GPU it's running at like 0.25. So it has like this little stutter all the while. And let's have a look here at the color information. It's around the same, so both of them here accumulate, I suppose, somewhere around yeah, like 1 millisecond for both of this information. So let's have a look here. It's 512 by 4424, and it's a 16-bit image. So we are basically not seeing everything. So in this case, we can just use a limit shop here, and we can use the normalize. But you can already see, okay, it's probably more interesting when there's more here. And what we can see is this, like the maximum distance I can go to the camera, and when it starts going black, it's like it has no more information about this one. So yeah, that's you can't really get so close. So how is the Kinect AZURE working then? Okay, so yeah, the price point, of course. Yeah, let's talk for a moment about the price point. Is the Kinect AZURE DK, just for your information, it's still the DK. It's the development kit. So this is not an official end user device in any way. This is like for developers to test it, play around, give feedback. So to actually buy it, your account has to be probably a developer account activated. So the moment you have already like the Visual Studio, for example, installed, I think it should be the same. You probably already have it activated. Yeah, so as someone in the chat already said, I think Owen said, yeah, so it's $40 used, and the Kinect AZURE is 400, and I just bought it in the Microsoft store. So let's have a look. So yeah, so here we go on buy now, and yeah, I suppose, I don't know, it wasn't really 100% official that it's possible to buy it in Germany, but it was no problem for me. It came from the Netherlands for this part, so I suppose in the end you should be able to buy it, but it might be that you have to use this be a developer or not. I'm not 100% certain on this, but let's jump right back into it. Just wondering why I actually have these headphones on. I really don't need them. Okay, let's have a look now at the Kinect, AZURE Kinect. How does it work? So now you use a just place this Kinect AZURE top here, and you can already see this is the depth information. So it kind of looks different when we compare them, and you can already see like the information about my my hand here is way more clear. And yeah, so here you can see, so now it picks up information on both of them, but now I move closer and closer, And now the Kinect version 2 already errors out and says I can't read this information. So let's go in deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, and now the Kinect AZURE starts to freak out. So let's compare them even a little bit more. Let's also normalize this whole image here we have. Oh, it's making a party. But you can already see, because this one also is a 16-bit image, that, okay, no. let's use a math chop here. There's something going on probably. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so now it looks kind of similar. So, and one thing I don't like so much is you have this bending here going on, and this the reason for this is that this part here, this hexagon, is basically just a part of what it can pick up in total. So this already one thing really nice about the Kinect AZURE is I can switch the modes. So I can select a sensor here in the parameters, which is already really nice. And I can change the field of view. So now when I put it to wide field of view, so let's put this, you can already see, okay, I get a lot of information. So when we compare the space, it's like, okay, here my left hand here, so you can no longer see it, but with the Kinect AZURE I can really go around, and the same here. So latency, they are basically the same. They are really similar here. Let's compare it here. So let's have a look at the noise level here. I suppose that's something interesting. How noisy is it? So we let's switch back to the narrow field of view to a better comparison. And you can, this is one nice thing, is like when you look here at my shoulder, let's look here for example. So the noise, the no longer existing information is yeah, it's less. Yeah, here you can see it a lot. Like here, this black bar where it's like no information about the depth. It's way better. Yeah, these are my glasses. Glasses do funny thing. Basically, they are kind of funny. Okay. So what you can do, so let's switch things even more up, is let's change the FPS of this camera to 15. So now it looks sluggish, but what we can do now is we can say wide field of view and get like all of the resolution. So now we have this really wide field, high resolution. Basically, it's like 1024 by 1024 compared to this just smaller, not even 512 by 512 information. So okay, so now when we compare the cook time, which is here the Kinect AZURE, it is higher. So we have here 0.6, somewhere around like this. But now when we want to also have the color information, for example, just to have the color sensor, what we now do is we're not placing a second Kinect AZURE here, because they are basically changing both of them, and they're both cooking at like this really still pretty high. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a Kinect AZURE select here, and there we're just bringing this in. Oh, this is also eating a lot of resources. This is crazy. So let's get the color information here. And which is really nice here is the sync image to other camera, align image to other camera. So when we press this, now it's like overlaid and already, yeah, brought in. It's not so great with this, but close enough. Oh, this looks kind of funny here. Okay, so let's check out the okay, we have the depth image, which is here. We have the infrared image, and this one is also really nice because right now it looks so dark, like you can't see anything. So let's switch this one also to infrared. So let's compare them here. Let's compare this one here, and let's put in. So I have to place this one. This one here and set this one to color. Yeah, so this is the regular Kinect, and this one looks like it's way too dark. So, but it isn't, which is really nice because now, again, because this one, so this infrared image here is it's also 16-bit. Why ever? And this one is also 16-bit. And now here again we can use a limit top and normalize everything. And now you can see, okay, it's also flickering around like crazy. So let's use a math chop here again, and let's adjust the range here. Oh, we have to move this up a lot. Okay, so now if we compare this, it's weird how different you look in an IR camera. Just if you compare this to here, it's interesting. Nonetheless, like my skin looks funny. Okay. So yeah, it might look at the first moment like it's not the same information. It has less information, but basically it has way more information compared to the Kinect 3 here, Kinect V2. So also again, you have this really wide field of view here. So can make this. Oh, okay. This also looks interesting. Like the right one is the Kinect 2. So you get this weird spots, and with the AZURE it starts way later, and you can see like here this weird noise image. But yeah, just as a comparison, it's like it's clearer, it's crisper. So let's have a look at the. Maybe let's go back to the narrow field of view here, so it compares better. Just wondering, what is this over here? It's like, oh, is it a dead pixel maybe? Might be. Yeah, seems like I have a dead pixel on my Kinect here. Not too much to worry about because I now have the AZURE. Okay, let me just check something. Maybe I will show this to you if it seems to be right. So let's deactivate this. No, let's reactivate this one and let's turn this one off. No, it's... Okay. So, let's also have a look at the other information you can put in here, or other parameters of the AZURE Kinect here. Besides using sensor frames per second, so if you want to have like this really high resolution wide field of view, you have to set the resolution to 15 FPS. It's a trade-off. More information, so you have basically more information per frame, so you have to make a trade-off here, which is sad in a way, but it's more than enough. If you interpolate between the frames to get it back up to like 30 FPS, shouldn't be so much of a problem. Yeah, depth mode, we already talked about it. So you can actually also go lower resolution, so I suppose it's more effective. Let's have a look what happens here. Okay, it gets really noisy, and it's not so much faster. So I suppose I wouldn't care so much about this. Yeah, one of the things is CPU body tracking, which you don't want to have this active. I'm actually not sure how the Kinect version 2 is doing the body tracking, if it's done per CPU or GPU, but I know that the CPU body tracking on the AZURE Kinect is really, really slow. And on the GPU, it's also very taxing on the GPU. This is something you have to keep in mind, but the limit of 6 persons tracking, for example, with the Kinect 2 is lower. So you can have basically more than 6 persons tracked simultaneously at the same time with the Kinect AZURE. Only limiting factor is your GPU. So I have an RTX 2080 inside of here. So this is okay. I haven't by now check the limit. This is definitely something which will happening after the whole social distancing, because to track more than 6 people in this space of the Kinect AZURE is definitely not compatible with social distancing. So stay safe, even if it's for the art or for other stuff, who knows. So yeah, align image to other, sync image to body tracking. This one is also really interesting. So when we click this, it freezes, which is interesting. Okay, now it's working and my GPU is starting to make funny noises. And it's kind of sluggish. So let's turn it off for now. Okay, now let me just do this again. Yeah, this is really something I don't like about Shroud CPUs, GPUs. So it's not like this thing with like 1, 2, 3 big coolers, but it's just like this one cooler. And I have the feeling they're never really 100% aligned in a way, so they start to make some funny noises. So I think I will have to take a look at my GPU on sometime. But yeah, you can already see that it's like a little bit slower. So yeah, body tracking introduces a slight delay. So let's turn this one off for now. Body tracking, definitely a topic we're going to talk about, because I think this is basically the most important part of the Kinect AZURE. But another thing, when you work with so let's have here a color image. If you want to use it to record, if you want to use it as a camera, just as a regular camera, you also have quite some information about or control over the settings, and you can change them in camera instead of working with tops. So this is definitely something nice. So for example, we can change the exposure, which might be interesting. So one thing we need to adjust the exposure is when working with in very bright environments or with several of the Kinects. So yeah, we can change the exposure time and just turn it down. And this is something interesting. You already see the flicker, and I will definitely come back to this because it's like here in the bottom. You have the manual white balance you can change, so we can adjust the temperature, which is also really handy. You can in camera adjust brightness, contrast, saturation, sharpness, stuff like this, which you can do in tops, but you don't have to at all. Backlight compensation. That's interesting. Actually not really sure what this is doing. And you can change the power line frequency. And this is really nice because I'm in Europe. I'm here in Berlin. It's dark outside already, so it's starting to get kind of late. But we're working with 50 Hz here. So this is definitely something very nice when working with stuff like when you're working with LED panels, projectors, stuff like this. And because you, for example, could also use this one as a AR camera, because basically the whole setup in the Kinect AZURE is the same sensor and same sensor set as is used in the HoloLens. And this is also why there is this whole acceleration rotation sensor inside, so you can use this. Sound is a little soft. I mean, I can turn myself a little bit up if necessary. So let me just, no, that's okay. So my microphone is here. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, the Kinect AZURE introduces some weird artifacts. They look like flies sometimes, going up and down. It happens most of the time around in this part here. I'm not so sure why. Maybe it's because it's a decay, or it's just a smudge somewhere on the sensor. Yeah, but we wanted to talk about, so you have gain, sharpness, going to turn down, going to turn up. Yeah, and it's like happening in the SDK. What else do we have? Okay, so the timing part is, yeah, the timing is going to be needed when you work with synchronization. So when you have more than one of the Kinect, so you still have to tell the Kinect how much time it has to wait before it can do the rest. But yeah, you can say, okay, master subordinate. Okay, now he's telling unable to start device because he's not anything, but basically subordinate delay. Here you can tell them So he's doing it by hand. I think it's somewhere around like 60 microseconds you can delay. Or you should delay, which is like the golden rule, but you can calculate the exact dimensions of the delay by hand. Okay, so now the actual interesting part, I suppose, so let's get rid of all of this, is the whole tracking. So let's change the mode here and set this one to player index. Okay, now I don't know if you can hear this, but now it's like ramping up, and it's, I mean, it's still okay. And let's set this one also to player index. Okay. Okay, and you can already see the Kinect version 2 on the right side is already taking all of this stuff here. And it's like, I don't know. I'm not 100% certain if this is player or not. And the Kinect AZURE on the left side, you can already see is like really, it's smoother. I mean, it still has artifacts going on when I move my hands, which is interesting in a way. So when oh yeah, it's here, my left hand. Okay, my left hand is pretty uncertain. And in general, I have the feeling it's more let's see. Let's hide. Okay, so one thing we can change about the Kinect here is oh no, we can't. It's kind of interesting. Can't really say if it should be seated or not. So yeah, Kinect AZURE in general is cleaner in a way, so it has a better time seeing the actual player compared to the Kinect V2, which is still thinking that my freaking chair here, this chair, is a player. But it keeps me, okay, so just interesting. So now I hide here. So when I rotate this, yeah, it's kind of flickery. But one of the nice things is, that is probably something to test. I would have to test this on my other PCs when I have more than one GPU, because I can select the GPU device which should be running the body tracking. So I suppose with like a second 1060, 2060, 2060 Super, something like this, running as a secondary, just like a compute GPU without anything attached, could probably divide the necessary compute power better and take it off one of the processes. Definitely something to test out. Maybe someone has some information. So what happens if we change this to the wide field of view here? So yeah, still not something I would use as a masking technique, but basically let's see how they hold up. Kinect AZURE select, put this one in here, use the color information and align this here. And let's put in a threshold here. Let's put this somewhere down, soften no. And now let's multiply this here. So, yeah, so-so. Definitely so-so. It's still not perfect. Actually, I have the feeling that maybe let's change this one back to the narrow field of view here to get more information. Yeah, it's kind of messy. I have the feeling it's kind of messy, actually. So let's see how they compare here. Color remap. It's also doing this weird thing where it's putting me over. And it's yeah, like this. Okay, so now let's put in a threshold here. Okay, so and the Kinect, okay, now it found me, but it really needs a moment to actually find me, which is interesting. Oh, so let's multiply this here, and yeah, let's compare these two here. Okay, yeah, so the Kinect V2 on the right side, it's introducing way more noise. So you have like this really weird dead kind of pixels here going on. And yeah, you have like this whole stuff here going on, and I have the feeling that the AZURE is way more certain what is part of my body and what is just an extension, because it's I hold this wrist rest. What a weird word. I hold it up, and the Kinect AZURE actually is like, that's not part of you. I know that, so let's set off this one. And the Kinect V2 is like, I don't know. So this is definitely, I don't know. I think it can be a pro and a con, in a way. Because maybe you want this. Maybe this is what you want. To have like what is part of me also be part of the player. But it's not working reliable. This is like the difference. So let's take the phone here. Yeah, I don't know. The AZURE is kind of messy about it. Sometimes it thinks it's okay. And the V2 is really good actually in recognizing it. It's kind of interesting. Not something I expected here right now. So really interesting. Okay, so just gonna check the phone. Nothing new here. So let's have a look at the RGB map, for example. Yeah, let's take a look at the RGB map. So I think this will probably be also something. So color point cloud. And here, let's do the same. Let's get the point cloud. Okay, so here you can already see you get artifacts. And this one looks clean in a way, so let's compare them. Boop, 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 boop. Let's create a let's get the color image here. This one to null, and let's put this one into a base. Nice. So let's create a box here. Let's scale this one. A small form factor, something like this. Put it in a geometry. Oh yeah, what? Oh, that's rather interesting. Color point. Ah, I see. Okay, so the color point cloud, which is quite nice, is like already remapped to fit with this information here. Beautiful, really beautiful. So now we can just put an instancing, go to page 2, and here we say RG and B. We go to this instance here and also say RG and B. Okay, let's turn this freaking adaptive foaming off. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. Okay. Yeah, let's make this one even smaller. And let's make it into still way too big. Okay, this looks better. I think we have to rotate it. Okay, this looks more the way I like it. So here I am, yeah, and it's, I mean, it's like we're instancing on a full HD image, so I suppose it's kind of normal. Though we're running a little bit slower, but let's just turn this one off, get a camera in here. And let's give this one a constant here, and let's just render it out here. Okay, this looks way better. Let's move the cam in here a little bit. Okay, so yeah, the shadows are insane. Oh, do you have a good stream? Just asking, because my YouTube is just telling me, but oh, yeah, a lot of people are just leaving right now. Oh no. Oh. Okay, now I should be back. So this is okay, so that's the Kinect here. Let's move this up a little bit. And let's just put this one on. Actually, let's see. Just wondering, what are you? Are you a polygon? I suppose so. And maybe we can like disable, turn off the def test, so it should be. Oh, it's running hot. It's running hot in here. Yeah, it's still. Oh, this is not good. Okay, so so this is one RGB image used as instance data. So let's maybe make this one a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think it was something I was doing last time already, where I just like I mean, but it's not running nice, not at all. Okay, so let's turn it like this, and let's compare this here. I think I'm just gonna switch down to 30 FPS, not 0, 30. Okay, now we're running at 30 FPS, so we shouldn't bottleneck too hard. So let's copy this baby here and use a Kinect AZURE select. And here we want the color. We want to align it. And so let's put in the RGB here and the color here. And let's just have a look how they compare. Yeah, and I think right now this is where the so the alignment is actually not working. Okay, this is definitely something to be aware of. So it seems like the alignment of the depth information and the color information is... Oh yeah, because we have to turn this one off. No. Or let's try it this way. Yeah. Looks kind of weird. But okay, let's change this one to white. Okay, now we're talking. And now just compare this. So the bottom one, maybe let's have them open here as separate windows. Okay, so the right one here is the AZURE, and the left image is the Kinect V2. And it's still not really working with the alignment, which is really weird. This is definitely something to have to look into. But as you can already see, it's because of the deeper color information and the wider field of view, you get a way better image. So maybe let's, just to make it a little bit fun to watch, let's put the rotation here in a parameter and set this one to scale, translate, rotate, and we clone this one. This one is the clone master here. Okay, now we can just say rotate apps time.seconds. And let's turn this one up by 10. So let's do the same here. Okay, so you can already see the difference, because they have the same values for like the information about where the points are. So this is definitely something where the Kinect AZURE excels it now on the left side. Just looks way nicer. So it already has like this. Yeah, and the nice thing is with the calibration, because you see this shadow here. So now if I would have a second of the Kinect AZURE, I would have like a second one on my left side here, and I would sync them. I would need to use a way to calibrate them, which isn't so hard, because it's basically like finding one point where they are 3 points, where they are all where you can triangulate the position basically. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see. This is something I think would also, okay, let's change this one to 15 FPS here, so it will be like this, but now we can say like, okay, unbind wide field of view, and so what is your to align you. Okay, what is it with this weird not working probably? That's weird. Now if we have a look here, you can see so much information here. That's insane. So we go inside here again. Okay, so you see we lose fidelity the more back we go. Which we can fight by basically just turning the size here back on. So I suppose you could just write like a really simple actually, I just want to try something. So we're going to use another one here. No, we're going to use a select here. So let's disable the cloning here. And we want to have the depth information. And then we're going to use a math chop here. Let's just get this one in here. And now we're going to use a math chop to be, okay, so let's see, what is the, it's like from one, we want this one to be from 0.2, or maybe like 1, and the more far away we are, we want to have it bigger, so let's set it to 4. Like this. Let's feed this in. Let's feed this in this geo instance, and let's set this one to, oops, Huh. Same number of instances. Okay. Okay, so... Oh yeah, this one is... So let's turn off here the... Okay, so this way basically we can fight the fidelity issue we have back here. Ah, not again! Okay. Yeah, okay. Just give me a second. I'm just going to deactivate the hotkeys here. I don't know why. Yeah. How unprofessional of me. Okay, so yeah, this way we can fight the non-fidelity here. Okay. Chop tracking, I suppose. Chop, chop. Chop, 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 chop. Okay, let's do chop tracking and see how this one plays out. So let's get rid of all of this because we don't need it. Oh, in fact, we need the Kinect AZURE top for the tracking of the Kinect AZURE chop to work, because we have to reference the top. I don't know why. It's weird. But let's use the Kinect chop here as a reference. Okay. Booting up. Okay, and you can already see it's not recognizing me. And the Kinect AZURE here is way better at recognizing me instantly. So, okay, now I got recognized. And you can... Okay, this is like... it's knee. It's the knee information. So maybe let's use a circle. Just here. Let's make them small here. And let's just use my hand. So, think we should be able to be like word space position. Yeah, let's... And I think in this, yeah, color space position, this one is easier to work with. Way easier to work with. So let's first check out the Kinect. Let's take my my shoulder, wrist, yeah, my right hand. Where is it? Hand tip, foot, knee, hand, wrist right, U. And V. And this isn't really working. Ah yeah, because it's using my elbow. Fuck this. Those are really weird values. So maybe let's not use... Why are they flipped? Oh yeah, so in this case I have to set this one -0.5, and it's flipped actually, so at least the right left. So let's turn this one around also. Oh no, it's the and we have to put in some more mathematical calculations. Okay, this kind of works out. So let's take the let's take this one and use the Kinect top here. Let's get the color information and let's just put this one over here. Okay, so we don't have to do this. My bad. Let's get rid of this. So okay, and let's make it red. Let's make the circle red so we can actually see it, and maybe give it like this little border. Okay, we can see it. Let's copy the circle here. Let's use the color information here. Let's feed this one in, and basically they should be the same wrist LU. Yeah, so we're just going to put this one in here. Boop. Okay, here it is flipped, which is interesting. Mirror U, okay. Oh no, okay, not mirror U position, but why is the V position actually flipped? That's nasty. Okay, let's open them up here and let's have a look. Who won? Okay, so this one is the Kinect AZURE. And is it just me? Okay. Oh, okay. It seems like my mouse gave up on me, kinda. Okay, so oh yeah, okay. I know why. No, it's 30 FPS. It should be bone length, bone confidence. Can we actually get the confidence here too? No, we can't. Okay, so I have the feeling that the Kinect V2 is running more smoothly. So the AZURE has like this stutter effect, as if it's just waiting. That's really not... To be honest, this is kind of disappointing. Hawker says AZURE seems smoother at tracking. So the top one, this one, is the AZURE. The bottom one is the V2. And I have the feeling that the V2 has a way better feeling for my wrist. Oh, okay. Seriously, this is disappointing. This tracking is kinda garbage. It's just wondering what the reason for this might be. Let's see, maybe playing around here with the nope, still so you can't really see this. Let me just zoom in here. So again, the top one is the AZURE. Yeah, okay, I have a feeling what the reason for this might be. So let's home this here. Yeah, okay, let's turn this one off now. Okay, so now it's an even game. Now it's an even game. I totally forgot about the smoothing, so the automatic smoothing in the Kinect shop here. So now it's kind of having the same, even worse in a way. I mean, they're both. Oh, okay. So just look at the Kinect, at the AZURE one. It's having problems with when I don't know, when I hold it in front of my face. I don't know what the point of this is. Let's try the hand tip. What is it called? I think it's called hand tip, yeah. So there seems like this weird spot in the center here. But it seems like they both have kind of this problem. So, yeah, let's... No, we're not doing smoothing. Just want to see what this is all about. But still, like, when I make this, the Kinect V2 in the bottom is still, it's like really glued. And the AZURE is taking, I don't know. it's needing more time. It's not as sticked. It really kind of sucks. So even without smoothing, it's like I have the feeling that the V2 is smoother. Okay, one thing I really want to try is eye tracking. Or nose, yeah, let's do some nose tracking here. I really want to see what this looks like. Nose. And how this works. And here we have the nose. Oh, we don't even have a nose here. We have to activate the face tracking, I suppose. Face eye. Oh yeah, face nose. Is it in this case? Yeah, let's make them smaller. They kind of look nice. Oh. Look at me, I'm a clown. Whee! Okay, so this. Okay, you're just losing it. So it kind of depends how you go about it, but can it do this? I really don't know what to take of this. I have the feeling it's maybe more on point, but on the same time it feels... Yeah, I have the feeling there's a smudge on the lens maybe. But it has problems. It has more problems seeing it than the... Maybe when I stand up. Let me just see what this looks like. Oh, God. Okay, so that's interesting. Because now the... Oh, why though? That's interesting. Okay, now the... Kinect V2 is having problems getting behind. But also it seems like it has... Oh yeah, it can see if I'm happy. Oh, and it's pretty certain I'm wearing glasses. Sorry, my dear, I do not. Well, let's see if it really is sure about this. Okay, even now you can't really trust this shit. It's like... Yeah, okay, my eyes closed. Right eye is closed. Mouth open. Looking away. Let's see, do you also have information like this? Yeah, I think the hand tip was a better one to work with, because I it hand tip clavicle ankle shoulder hand tip right. Yeah, so in this case, the V2 on the bottom, but let me just try one thing. I really want to see what is happening here. So let's deactivate the whole IR thing. No, it's still having the same problems. So it's... Oh, why are you on? Maybe let's just put something over the whole IR thing here. So let's see, it still has the same sluggishness to it. Yeah. Freeze. Okay. So we have chop tracking, and I really have to say the Kinect, the Xbox 360 Kinect it's better. I don't know. It seems weird, but it's doesn't have, I mean, it still has a lot of problems compared, but it's... Let's see what happens if I stand up here. Okay, so it's... The Kinect is more precise in a way. As you can see, it can pretty nicely find my fingertip here. And the V2 is also okay, but it's tugged on. It doesn't like, isn't like a yo-yo I'm playing with in this case. Oh. Yeah. Maybe one of the reasons why the V2 seems like so tugged on is because it's a lower refresh rate. I mean, it has like a delay to it, the bottom one, where the top one but still it feels, it's yeah, feels smoother in any way. Okay. What else can we have a look at? Interactions we can have a look at here with this Kinect. Bone length, face tracking, status channels. Okay, so the status channels, yeah. So this one is running at like 0.2 milliseconds, and the Kinect here is also, it's faster. It's like taking less resources. Andrew, the field of view of the Kinect AZURE is also wider. Way wider. Let me just show you. So it's like the wide field of view here. But not for color, which is interesting. But when you take the depth mode here, you can see that's like a really far field of view. Woo. And this is also why when we go back to the narrow field of view here, yeah, you have this slight bending. Well, let's go back to color. Yeah, so maybe let's just put in a text here. I should probably have made this before. It's a kind of weird to talk as a German about the V2. I don't know, is it weird or not? So I mean, we can just increase like the so set this one to manual exposure, and let's just put this up here. What it's still, so yeah, color camera on the AZURE, it's good. It's less, I mean, it's still noisy, but I have the feeling it has more crisp to it. And yeah, it's 4K, so maybe let's have like a 3-minute break. 3, like this one, 3-minute break, and so you can come up with some questions if you want to. So I can try stuff you want to try or want to see, so I can go more in depth maybe, because I'm kind of out of ideas. I have my final verdict, but before I would like to test more stuff you are interested in regarding these two sensors. So see you in a minute. Let's just mute me. I'm back. So no questions from you. Okay, so it's that's so weird. Let's make a comparison. Do we have Axel here? Yes, we have Axel. Okay, so first question by Anti-Elias. Nice name. It kinda is. As I already said, I think I have the link still open here in the just Microsoft store. So Microsoft.com. Just Google AZURE Kinect DK. Okay, yeah. Let me just. So the I ordered is just here at the Microsoft store directly by Microsoft in Europe. So maybe let's have a look at where it's accessible. Like, okay, let's add this one to our card. Okay, so we added it to our card. Okay, so let's remove it here. I think you would just have to try. It might be that you need a developer account. I think this is something I already said. So yeah. No refunds. Oh yeah, it's meant for use. This is probably something really interesting and something I want to test out because this can be a really limiting factor. But it probably is the same for the Kinect for the Xbox One. Maybe there's some information for the Kinect for Xbox One. Temperature. Let's just check this one for me. Okay. Blah 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 blah. It's not really visible. Yeah, so above 25 degrees, it's not clear if it really works. I think I will have to make a test, just mount it somewhere in the truss, because when you mount it in a truss to use blob tracking, which is something where I think this the Kinect AZURE is really, really good, is using it for blob tracking. Just putting like 4 of them, sync them together, and cover like a large area, and then use this this whole image to do a blob tracking, which I think is should be really, really good for this camera because also of the large areas, 6 meters distance, stuff like this. So but if it's really just working at a max of 25 degrees, this can be another deal breaker. Maybe, kind of. Okay, so Xbox Kinect. Let's make a nice spreadsheet here. Oh, 35 degrees, 5 to 30. Thank you, Jean-François. Is it Jean-François? Just please correct me if I'm wrong. I think I had like 1 year of French in on like elementary. Is it elementary school? I think so. Yeah. Okay, so maybe that's something we can just put in here right away. It's 5 to 35 degrees Celsius. This one is 10 to 25 degrees Celsius. Okay, but you ask about what happens when my hand disappears behind an object. So I got this hat here. And yeah, it seems like the AZURE is better picking it up again. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so this is definitely something the Kinect AZURE is better at. So, that's definitely a good point. Okay, so this is probably something where what we saw when we changed this one, let's change it again to player index. And player index here too in the V2. So the Kinect, the AZURE Kinect, is really great in seeing that something I don't have in my hand is not part of my player index. I mean, it still has a certain uncertainty here, but if you compare it to the V2 in the bottom, you can see that the hat here is part of me, even if I throw it. Like, I can throw my hat and it will be part of me. So this is the reason why when I make this, the AZURE is better at picking it up again, because it's not like, oh, this is part of you. It's like working with little children in a way. Yeah, basically with a chill, where you're just like, oh, I got your nose, so this one is the nose, and then I'm just like, poof. And okay, the V2 is so I have the feeling that the AZURE is more certain. It has a better understanding of the human body, in a way, and what a player is. So this is definitely something to put in the cheat sheet. Good human recognition. I hope I write it one. Picks up non-human parts as player. Okay, this is definitely a good test. Just see. Let's take this one. Okay, this is really nice. The moment I leave this object right in front of me, which is like a vase. So when I hold it in front of me, even the AZURE is kind of thinks, hey, this is part of the player. But the moment I not touch it, it disappears. So now it stands here. Maybe let's put it here. I think here is a better space. have the feeling the AZURE has a better understanding of what is human and what isn't. Okay, let's see. This one has to go over here. Nope, leave it. Okay. What else do we have? So we have high resolution. I really can't write. Lower resolution RGB image, high resolution depth image. In general, high. So more than 6 meters distance. Max for 5 meter distance. So we have a 6-player limit. Here we have unlimited. So the AZURE one, I have the feeling is pretty power hungry. Yeah, and just the Kinect, the Xbox Kinect is maybe let's this all stuff like okay, unlimited player count. So the AZURE Kinect is pretty power hungry. That is more efficient. So this one is good. So here this one is good. This one is bad. Bad. Neutral. Seriously, let's put this as neutral because I can see where seeing the persons is a good thing. This is definitely not good. This is definitely a win here. Let's actually set this one to neutral, the player limit, because it's quite hard getting more than 6 people in the field of view. Oh yeah, field of view. High field of view. Always every fixed steep field of view. So this is definitely one for the Kinect. The field of view is definitely definitely a win for the AZURE. So the tracking, how do we? Oh yeah, built-in smoothing. Only external smoothing. So this one is, let's say neutral, because for me this isn't too much. I mean, you can just put in like a filter chop, something like this, so it's okay, I would say. Oh, chunky, big external dongle and power supply unit, data and power over USB, even USB alone. Big, really big plus for the AZURE Kinect here. data and power over USB, even USB alone, limited to one device. This one is again unlimited device count. Plus, and you have the syncing. So let's put this one is also green. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have? I think there was some more stuff. Oh. Yeah, it's big and chunky itself. Small, professional looking. I mean, this isn't like a big factor, but it gives more confidence to a client if you're not coming with a gaming device. Because he doesn't care what it is in the end, but if he sees you're coming with like an Xbox game controller, what the fuck? So in this case, it might actually be nicer. Oh yeah, price, definitely. So so this one is $40 used, I think, and this one is $400 new. New only via Microsoft, not everywhere. So this is definitely a minus. I don't know if you can still get them in new. Oh yeah, so this is definitely, it's discontinued, and this one is brand new in development. So this isn't per se a point for the AZURE Kinect that it's brand new, because it's still the development kit. It's like not the final 100% final product. It has basically everything, but it isn't this doesn't mean it's like the best thing, because there's still things changing, the SDK changing over time. So and with the Xbox One Kinect, we still have a lot of information. We already have a lot of information because a lot of people used it. It works. Oh, so this one is Windows only, and this one is Windows and Linux, which is definitely a good thing, because we have TouchDesigner on Linux. Listen here, you little shit. Yeah, Windows and Linux. So this is more if you're venturing into creating your own applications using open frameworks, for example. What else? What else do we have? Fixed steep field of view, built-in smoothing. Okay, so the I think it's better tracking. It was my feeling. It had more this tugged on feeling, where the Kinect was sluggish. But I'm giving this like a 40% bad, because it's I think the refresh rate should be the same for both of them. Should be. So maybe let's have a note here. check actual refresh rate. Yeah, refresh rate is a good point because they should both be 30 Hertz. So this is definitely a neutral here. But yeah, this is something which would be nice. So this is definitely going to be a stream when I worked more with more than one Kinect AZURE, because I think this is the point where it starts to get interesting. Putting several of them together and see how you can like bring them together in a way. But I can't really say a lot of this. But for example, you can use then 2 Kinects to get like the full 60 Hertz. But this is definitely something to look out for. Let's see, what else do we have? I feel more if... What else? Do we have the built-in smoothing? Yeah, only external smoothing. What else do we have? Oh yeah, it's like full HD, and this one is 4K. So this one is definitely bad. This one is good. Index edge precision. Good topic. Good. So yeah. Let's compare. So the thing with the edge compare, so with the player index here. So if we go down to 15 FPS here with the Kinect AZURE and now use this wide field of view high resolution, I have the feeling we get like a really nice. Let's compare them. To answer your question about cable distances, I didn't try it with a longer USB-C cable, which would be actually kind of interesting to check it out. But what I can tell is out of the box, the Kinect V2 will have a longer distance because of all the cables and all the adapter and stuff you have to tug on. So, but it's all in all less cable, and you can use like a fiber. So at least I use it right now with a fiber. With a fiber USB extender, and it works just great. And so you have less cable. Oh yeah, but I think we already put it in Chunky Bear and PSU. Yeah. So that would be actually interesting to check how long with a regular USB cable you can go. But using Let me just check. USB 3 fiber hybrid. If I can find it. It's like one long cable. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. So this is all Lindy. Should be okay. I think it's this one, basically. So yeah. So this cable. So I'm not using the actual D-Log because it seems like we just ordered it directly off the white label company, which is using it, which D-Log is using here. But this cable, for example, is working perfectly, and I even was able to power up the Kinect, at least in like low power mode, with this cable. So it wasn't even necessary to bring in like power. So power over, like, this is why it's called a hybrid cable. So really nice cable here. It's like the D-Log, but basically it's just D-Log is just a white label company. They just buy stuff directly off the Chinese vendor. So it should be like this. But I can post. I will post a story on Instagram. But I can also like just post it into the group if you're interested. So yeah, let's come back to index edge precision. I have the feeling it's basically the same. So he's kind of uncertain, more uncertain. But yeah, with the V2, you have the just put this here so you can see it. So you see the stuff with the table, but this is what I was talking about here in the picks up non-human parts as player. So this is definitely a good one because you don't have like this other shit here. I have the feeling that the general picks humans up faster. So let's maybe check. Let me just go outside. Yeah. Okay. So you see the Kinect AZURE is way faster in picking people up. This is definitely a good, really big plus. It's like picks up player really fast. Takes a while to recognize. Is it how you write recognize? Sometimes it's hard to not talk in your native. Takes a while. No, it's not how you write recognize. Is it? Recognize. Yeah, I mean I can write it for fuck's sake. And I just wrote it without problem. Why did I write it like this way? Weird. So this is definitely a bad one. This is a good one for the Kinect. Huh. Yeah, in general. It's big. Or do we already have it? Oh no, we already have the big one. Okay. Oh, one thing cannot be used as a webcam. This is really like a small thing. Can be used as a webcam. Oh, this one needs SDK installed, and the AZURE Kinect is plug and play, at least for TouchDesigner. Have you tried tracking from Oh, Anti-Alize. Damn, I love your questions. I really love your questions. They're so good. They are really good. Tracking from behind, and at least for me, tracking from top. Or like in a really steep angle. I think this is definitely some interesting part. Just have to think about how I can set up the... okay, first... let's try the tracking from behind. Okay, I can't really see it right now, so you have to help me in a way. But okay. So I have the feeling the AZURE is... don't wonder that it's not 100% aligned here in the AZURE window, because I'm working in basically like a kind of different field right now. Because here I have the color image position, so maybe let's switch this one back to color image. And this one also. Okay, so so this is something the V2 doesn't recognize me. So I have to just like... So, and the AZURE is way better in still being pretty certain where I am. Okay, so that's okay. This one works nice. Aha! Okay, so yeah, this is definitely a big plus for the AZURE. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the AZURE knows that this is my right hand here. And the V2 knows it also because I'm standing in front of it. But this is why really damn. This is a nice question. So the moment I turn around, and now the V2 is thinking that my left hand is my right hand. And as I said, it's like this situation with the child. Where I'm just like, hey, I got your nose. Because I if you can't see me, I can't see you. So the AZURE is more certain. It knows better what's happening. Okay, let me just check something. I'll be back in 1 minute. Just have to try something. Mali. Nee, alles gut. Oh Gott. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, AZURE was faster. So now I have my lovely assistant here. And now we're going to try. Stell ich mal, mach mal einen Schritt nach vorne, ja. Now I'm doing. Und jetzt gehen wir ein Stück nach links. Okay. Ja. So, okay, danke schön. Okay, so this is definitely a big plus point, is better understanding of human body. In a way. Okay, let's walk in backwards. It's really a good one. So yeah, even when I walk behind another person right now, just let this sink. I walked behind player 2, and the AZURE was losing context in a way, but it found it really fast. So yeah, even when the other Kinect just lost me when I walked behind another person. So poor anatomy skills. Okay, walking in backwards. I love it. Okay, right hand. It's right hand here. Okay, so the V2 didn't even recognize me. The V2 didn't see my face, so it assumed I'm not a human being. And the AZURE actually realized. The V2 actually realized that it was my right hand. Okay, just so you have it again. This is my right hand here. This is my right hand. I will just do it again, because I'm freaking amazed, right? Yeah. Oh. Okay. This is something the AZURE didn't even like. Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, so I suppose the player differentiation is also pretty good, because as you saw when I was behind the second person, the moment I came back, the AZURE still recognized me, also still recognized me as player 1, which in fact is okay. Do we have some more points? So I have the feeling this is a big one. Let's make this one a big one. Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh, I can do this. Come here. just gonna have to find something to put under here. No. Oh, this isn't working. Nope, nope. Okay, I have to just do it like this. Just give me a second. I have to find a way to. Oh yeah. Does it make sense? Just see. So yeah, this isn't a problem to just put the Kinect V2 somewhere else. Of course, it has naturally quite a long cable here, which is totally entangled in itself. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, you can already see okay, now it gets me, but it took a moment. This works kind of fine. Okay, so the cable here is in the way. Sorry, this was definitely the wrong move. So, let's see how I can build something similar for this one. That's why my microphone is hanging. Yeah, you're not watching Linus Tech Tips here right now. Let's see. Yeah, so this one is quite short, the cable, as you can see. So this here is just the cable. But the camera is really nice. So let's just I should have thought more about this. Okay, so maybe let's just okay, so here the Kinect V2 is like the moment I get too far. Yeah, okay, so now it's the AZURE also has a lot of uncertainty here. How can I test the steepness? Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna build like a really unsafe contraption right now. Okay, let's put you back here. Okay. Works fine. I mean, it picked me up really fast, so let's see if we can go steeper. Almost happened. But yeah, okay. I hope. Okay. Oh my god, it just didn't do. Wow. That is insane. That is freaking insane. And the V2 can't do that. So this is over top tracking. So it's hanging. I'm kind of scared to show you that, but it's hanging on the cables. I'm definitely going to change this in a second. But yeah, this is definitely a clear win for the AZURE. So the AZURE from 90-degree angle picks me up, no problem. And the V2 doesn't. Even the V2 sees more, but it just can't see me. That's a big plus here. No overhead tracking. Picks 90-degree from top. So I think you saw enough of my room. See the untidy person I am. That's like a big... Yeah. I think with the last action in the last 15 minutes, I just lost like 10 viewers. But yeah, moving, that's an interesting part. Okay. The final verdict, or some more questions or things to try? Just waiting for the chat. And also I would be interested what you think, or which one you would pick. Which one would you pick right now? This is, I think, also quite an interesting question. If you if you want to pick the AZURE, subscribe to my channel, and if you power draw. This is a good question. Let's see. So here's the power brick for the Xbox One. And it's... Let me just... it's like 12 volts by 2.76. So 33 watts. Let me just see what it says here. Caution, choking hazard, regulation, notices, warning, Vorsicht, Kabel- und Leitungssicherheit. Warnung, Gefahr bei Reparaturen. Please read. Okay, so I will, if we're not trying anything more, just have a look at the power brick here. So so it is 5.2 volts by 2.5, so it's 13 watts. So like probably say like 15 watts with like loss of conversion. Let's just put this in. So yeah, 30 watts, 33 watts. So oh, komm schon. Yeah, it seems like I bricked. So yeah, seems like it doesn't like losing power. That's okay. That's okay. I mean, we have still the V2. Okay, final verdict. So I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. If I should. The AZURE Kinect has a lot of stuff I like. Yeah, it has the IMU sensors. But all in basically that's my verdict. Do you make money with your project? But I mean, like, really, do you make money in a way of do you have like big area to track? Do you need top-down tracking for, as I said, person tracking? We just had a project where we were in the end basically using 4 where we were using for, how were they called? I think it was like this Intel RealSense. We were using 4 RealSense cameras and streaming them via NOC to like the main tracking server. And I have the feeling if you just put in like 4 of this AZURE Kinect in the truss, it's easier and more reliable in a way. So second is it's a product that exists. So you can get support. So you get support and you have the 4K video you can use. Maybe you have like this big project with where you're using the IMU sensors with the more clear, more high fidelity stuff. Also, really the player pickup that it's able to the general better understanding of human body is like a really big plus. Hi Mickey. We're just coming to an end. Yeah, the general point clouds of the Kinect AZURE are better, especially if you're using the 1024 by 1024 15 FPS. It looks way better. Depth information, at least it feels for me more diverse. You have the whole bigger image. Yeah, but the tracking is the skeletal tracking, so it's more reliable, is my feeling. You have in general, the whole thing is more reliable. But it felt sluggish compared to the tracking of the Xbox One. This felt so much better on the Xbox One. So that's a trade-off. But I have the feeling for a project, when I'm working on a project, I'm going to make this trade-off for the reliability, for picking the player up in a good way. Reliable. So Mickey, you're coming too late. But give Orion a kiss from me. Yeah, definitely the efficiency thing, I think again also is something where it's like when I'm making money with my project. Yeah, here 6 player limit and basically an unlimited player count. So the efficiency on GPU, CPU with the Xbox One Kinect, I really want to try with 2 GPUs. That's really something I want to try. To just see if you can like just load everything off to the second GPU. This would be really interesting. Maybe that's also one of the reasons why it was so sluggish in a way, because we had this communication between GPU and back to CPU. I have the feeling that might actually be the reason. So yeah, also a trade-off. I'm totally fine with just put in like a 2080 Ti or just a big boy. Just put in a big boy. It's high field of view. It's also really nice, combined with the deeper depth. Built-in smoothing. I can do it externally. This isn't so much from me. Chunky, big external dongle, PSU, the small professional looking, as I said before, is when working with a client. That's also a good point, to be able to hide the camera without it being so obvious. Because when you especially in like art exhibitions, I think when we were to Stockholm, we were in Stockholm and we were in the music museum. Really great place. Go there. I think we spent like 4 hours and then they closed down because we came in too late, because we were in some other museums which weren't half as good as the music museum in Stockholm. That's a good question, Mickey. So, and the thing is, there was like this one, several installations where they used the Kinect, and you could always see it because it's like this big chunky thing with the 3 points in the middle, and you have to let them be visible. And the Kinect, the AZURE Kinect, is, yeah, it's smaller. It's way smaller. It has a way smaller footprint, so it's easier to just like put in a small box, maybe put on some ventilation for a good measure, and have it run its day and be not as visible. And also don't have this fucking Xbox One logo there. It's like it has a small logo, a small Microsoft logo, but it's just like 4 squares, so it's not so hard to look at. In the same vein, the $400 aren't a problem in this case. Yeah, the webcam thing, forget it. So yeah, if you're not making money with your project, don't bother, basically. It's like a lot of small improvements. And yeah. And now to answer your question, Mickey, I don't know. Definitely something to test, but I have the feeling that yes, that will be a problem. Because it's still using IR, infrared, so the moment you shine more IR onto it, so problem glasses, for example, are kind of a problem in a way. So yeah, damn. It's like 3 hours. 3 hours talking about a freaking camera. But it's kind of nice. So thank you for watching. Really appreciate it, especially Jean-Francois and Anti-Alias. Always really nice. You had really nice input from me. Would love to have you. Would love to see you on my next stream, which will probably be sometime. What I definitely can. So I'm not directly working with this. Just gonna make a little commercial here. In Germany we have this United We Stream, which is like a combination with working with clubs. So to save the club culture, so they're streaming DJ sets and stuff like this on Arte. And yeah, Stefan Kraus of MX10, a good friend of mine, he's doing a stream tomorrow. So just gonna show this to you here. So I'm just gonna make some, yeah. Yeah. Maybe you're interested in joining joining us at the stream there tomorrow. My little computer, my little Sentinel, as it's called, will be the PC playing the whole thing. So like and subscribe. Hit that, smash that like button. Ring the bell. Follow me on Instagram at alphamoonbase.berlin. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tinder, Grindr. And also, I don't know if you're interested in components stuff. Check out my derivative website. Awesome. Bye-bye.